into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey!
Grab your whiskey! What up, AfterBuzz? It's your boy DJ Jesse Janedy here in studio for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Our engineers thought it would be funny to switch the label in the background. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it says the Real Housewives of Potomac. Because they put a picture of a cherry blossom tree there, but it wasn't a full bloomed cherry blossom tree. It was like a twig.
Struggling, yeah.
So we've been like coming at them. So this is what they did to us.
Pocahontas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So let's talk about it. The episode I enjoyed last night's episode.
I liked it. Yeah.
Thought it was cute.
Yeah.
A little too Katie heavy for me.
Lots of Katie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're wanting to let us really get a chance to know her.
That just means it was in the stars for me not to watch it. I haven't seen it, guys. So I'm kind of just here.
Because we know y'all want to hear Shar's opinions.
But we're going to ask you certain questions.
No, that's fine.
Because the show's all about etiquette, right?
I just wanted to be honest with those of you watching to let you know that I have yet to see this episode that we're discussing.
I have to say, I think Karen's actually really smart because I see Karen doing a book deal at the end of this. Because in the show, she keeps saying etiquette number 17, 13. So I could totally see Karen coming out with
And people will buy it.
But the thing is, because
a Real Housewives etiquette book.
Because Karen keeps mentioning etiquette, I'm very particular when I watch her to make sure. Yep. And she's not that great. Her etiquette really isn't on point. So it's she's contradicting herself a lot.
Yeah. Well, before we get into her, let's talk about Katie. Let's just get this over and done with. So Katie done researched the only magazine she probably was ever in. I'm just kidding, girl. But Washington Life. She met up with, what was he, an editor or something?
Yeah.
And she did this cover 10 years ago. And they want to interview her again because they said, 10 years, we feel like we broke you. We were the ones who got you
put you on.
And they want to know what motherhood has done for her within these 10 years. They cared so much to know that. But she said she's really focused on the Rost Foundation, which is her family's foundation. So they get a whole bunch of money, and then they choose who the charity's for, and they deliver that money to that charity, which is a great situation.
So how do these charities make any money, though? As far as for themselves?
I think they're called the write-offs.
Right. Okay, there you go. Because I'm
how do you think her family got all that money in Potomac?
Right. And so her mom... She gave a back history of how her parents met.
Yeah, go ahead.
So her mom was in college, and her dad was her mom's professor, which is exactly what happened with my grandma.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a story.
Love at first study.
Yeah. Can I get an A?
Okay.
Amen.
Easy. All right. The guy brings up that Katie doesn't have a husband. Mm-hmm. Katie did not care for that. She then went on to say that she's so excited for the article to come out because now once this article does come out, people will start to think that Andrew and her are an item. Psycho.
Until
they
see that.
Item, aren't they?
Well,
but you're talking about more so marriage.
Yeah.
She wants to say
concrete.
She wants to even say engaged. Yep. That's what she really wants.
But he has not proposed. She keeps. I noticed from last episode, she kept kind of pushing this whole notion of engagement, even when she was talking to the rabbi, soon to be fiance. But it's you as the woman, if we're gonna stick to traditionalism, you as the woman really don't make that call of soon to be fiance.
And if you thought she was pushing last week, honey, bitch, diarrhea tonight because she was
way. Yeah. Do you think that Katie's the type to propose to Andrew?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Oh, I don't see her. I see her forcing him.
She's old school. I don't see her proposing to him.
Yeah.
She seems too old school Disney princess, 1950s
But
type.
you know what? Isn't it kind of a little bit too late because she already has 3 kids and they're all under
3 years old.
Well, she's feeling the pressure because, like she said,
baby mama.
in this town, people are looking at people like me and Andrew, and they say, you two are grown, and you doing what you guys are doing, that's not acceptable
all his friends
here.
are married.
Y'all shacking.
Yeah.
I wonder why he doesn't want to marry her.
Because she's, well...
He said because she keeps asking.
Can we pull the live chat up?
She keeps asking, and that's what his excuse is.
He said we would have been married, we would have been engaged and married 6 months ago if you wouldn't keep the way you keep pushing it. Which that's also interesting.
I'm very interesting.
That is it. Because what does me asking you, well, harassing you about it, have to? Why does that kind of like determine the outcome?
Because it seemed. Remember, Wags. With
Okay.
I can't remember what her name was. God bless me. With your ex-husband.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking? Deshaun.
Yes.
So remember how the same situation. You know, at the same situation where it was her pushing, and because they keep pushing, it's almost like, well, I don't know if this is.
It's
kind of
like when you were a child, and if you kept asking for something, your parents would sometimes say no. Like, depending on what, you know,
because of the way you're asking.
Like a luxury thing.
But the thing is...
Not the necessities, but like a toy, for example, or some candy or something like that.
Maybe he's thinking...
push your parents to tell you no.
Maybe he's thinking of it from a financial standpoint, too, because it's a lot to take on. Like he said, he's paying for her au pair. He's paying for her. She doesn't work. And 3 kids, and she wants to have more kids.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a lot of money
to ask of a man to take care of.
Plus
one
himself.
Kid that ain't
his
own, but 3. Do they ever delve into like who her baby daddy is and stuff like that?
I didn't see. I don't remember that.
Well, I should say her ex-husband.
But we did see her. They went on a double date with Ashley and her man, and like this theme of interracial dating kept coming in, and so like it was like this random moment where they're at the table and Katie was just like, this is so fun. Like,
it was uncomfortable.
It was a little uncomfortable. She was like,
watch.
this is so fun that, you know, we're here and it's
With
another
our white
interracial
men.
couple.
Yeah, like, do you have any other friends that are like this? And they were both like,
there
no.
were a lot of good think pieces, I want to say, on theroot.com. I saw floating around Facebook last week about the discussion that the ladies had about being black, kind of being these fair-skinned mulatto, if you will. I know that's an old school term. Black women. I'd recommend everybody read it. I can't delve into it because I'd be talking for 40 minutes, but I think it's at theroot.com because people have really been kind of picking apart.
Will you tweet that out?
I will. But people have really been kind of, these think pieces have been being brought up about how these women kind of navigate certain conversations that are discussed within the community, but it's never been on such a broad audience before. So it's interesting to see because the whole cast is, you know, fair-skinned women with the exception of Charisse. And now they're kind of really, really emphasizing this, like you all were saying, this whole interracial dating storyline. And it's like, is that how are you all just a cast of Stacey Dashes? You know what I'm saying?
They the way that they talk about it is that they're better than anyone else.
Karen
like, they're
said-
better
yeah.
because they are. And the way even Karen put it.
We want our daughter to find a good person. It doesn't matter what their race is, as long as they're a good-hearted person. It just so happens that this boy is white, a Caucasian, and that's who she's
that's
going.
fine.
So it's kind of like
But
hers was. I didn't get offended when she explained it. When Katie was saying it, it was almost like a little bit like I wondered. You know what I mean? And I don't really know if that's even my place to wonder, but I was wondering if. Girl, like when she said that, is like, were you looking at this like you wanted a trophy or you wanted like?
I agree with Jessica in the live feed. It seems as if Katie almost is. I wouldn't say hates because that's a harsh word, but it almost seems like she's ashamed of her blackness. Like
I don't think she's
facets
ashamed
of her.
I think she probably
maybe
makes
deep
herself feel better by saying she dates white guys.
And
I think
she's
it makes
mixed.
her,
Even though that's a fact.
It makes her seem like a better person than someone else. Like rather than me,
which is interesting because her mom is dark.
I date a black man, you know.
But
yeah,
a lot
and her
of
mom
that,
is really
a lot of
black,
that can be perpetuated.
Yeah.
I mean, we see discussions on Twitter all day of black men dragging black women as if they didn't come from a black woman. We see this every day. So it's a whole bunch of deep-rooted, systematic, passed-down nonsense, if you will.
That's so funny because I was just reading another article and they were talking about all these people.
We just like to read.
Talk about getting diverse in Hollywood, and they said it's funny when people talk about diversity in Hollywood, but you never want to say diverse and then throw a dark-skinned black woman as the lead. It always has to be a lighter skin. Or this.
Yeah.
And so that is actually really...
And representation. Let's not bring up that god-awful Nina Simone biopic that they were filming and they cast Zoe Saldana. You all know what I'm talking about.
Is it the one on Netflix?
No. That was a documentary.
Okay.
But there was this huge petition. No, the documentary, it's called What's Wrong
Zoe
with
Saldana
Simone? No.
Yeah.
I think that's been shelved because Nina Simone's daughter was against it. Her estate was against it. But we all know Nina Simone, if anything, hire Viola Davis to play, or a woman of a darker complexion with more West African type features. Why would you cast Zoe Saldana? So it's political too. So.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but whatever.
So back to the interracial dating. We got them talking about embracing Ashley, how Katie wants to embrace Ashley, and she's interesting. She kind of owned up to it. She said, "I think the girls at Potomac are gonna really like her. They'll talk shit behind her back, but they'll like her in general."
And I like her.
And I actually loved Andrew because he really kept it real on the women. He was like, "Man, I can't stand Karen. She's an old haggard." And he was
Andrew is Katie's Jewish boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when Ashley was like, "Well, I haven't met
Karen.
I haven't met Karen yet," he said, "Well, imagine Gizelle on bad drugs."
Oh, yes. Wow. I like Karen Hugo.
She's very intriguing. So then Katie and Andrew are going to go to this foundation where Katie's mind is, we're going to go to this party and I'm just going to network the hell out of it, which was awkward.
She was like pimping.
It was so awkward.
It was like a room full of people she didn't know that she got into this event and was just randomly walking up to people and be like, "Hi, my name is Katie. Here's my foundation."
No, imagine like pouring
money.
a drink and you just look over at someone and they like kind of quick it. When you like someone looks at you but then you don't want them to see look, so you turn your head. It was like that, and she'd be like, "Hi, how are you? My name's Katie."
No, she'd be like, "I love those shoes." That's always the way. That's LA too. Like, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get those shoes?" So what do?
I just really want to talk to you.
That reminds me of a party that I went to once.
What?
When people were doing that. It was a party like December 12th-ish that I went to. And
Shut up, Shar.
That reminds me of certain people at a party I went to.
Really?
They were doing that?
It was awkward networking. There's nothing wrong with networking, but if you can't finesse...
It's very LA, like...
LA is full
LA
of
is very
networking.
Superficial.
Boom.
Someone thinks Andrew is a queen. Do you all think he's a queen?
No.
He paying all the bills, yeah. He can do whatever he wants.
Caitlin Monroe thinks that he may be a little...
Miss Caitlin pretty much on point, but I know a lot of effeminate Jewish men.
I don't think he's gay.
I don't think so.
But
Although that is interesting that he's taking care of 3 kids.
It's very strange.
And not wanting to...
not wanting to create one.
Great one.
That's money.
So Katie's prepping Andrew on the Ross Foundation. As they're in the car, she says, "So how should I intro you, fiance?" And then it just turned into a whole bunch of awkward name calling. He was like, "How about guy that got stuck taking care of 3 kids?" And
See, you can be my man making jokes like that. Because if you feel like you're stuck, why are you here?
Ooh.
And why would she struggle with an introduction? He's your boyfriend.
And the more awkwardness was then at the end, someone asked, "Oh, are you two engaged?" And then that whole conversation, she has to look at the ring.
Now, see, what would prompt... Does Katie wear a ring?
No, that's the thing.
So what would prompt someone to ask that? You don't walk up to random couples and be like, "Are you
because
two?"
she was asking someone else, were they engaged?
Okay.
And then they asked
she just off a cuff.
And she was like, "Let me see your ring."
Okay.
And then she said to him, "You see, that's exactly what I like."
She said, like, take a mental note. This is what I like. But it was like...
pear-shaped, like that type.
Yeah, but it was like everything throughout the day was like... wedding bells, that it would make me nauseous.
But the thing is, think about it. She has nothing else to think about.
But a year and a half of dating someone, like, I don't know, like, calm down. If he's not talking about weddings in a year and a half, then just calm down. Wait another 6 months. That's 2 years.
But imagine those kids were one years old. No one has time to talk about marriage when you're raising 3 kids that are 1 year old. That's a lot of work, raising 1 kid. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he was like, dude, I'm just trying to get you from day to day. Like, don't worry about the future. Worry about right now and your kids, and then down the line,
yeah,
we
but
can
does it also
discuss
come
that.
off looking a little like pimpish? You know what I mean? Like he takes care of everything but doesn't want to claim her. And
Well, she should be grateful because you know what? If she keeps pushing his buttons, when is she going to find another Andrew that's going to help her?
Here's my other thing with that.
true.
She's not going to go out and get a job.
I don't know, like, is it a little strange that you have this man doing all of this stuff within a year and a half, that attached to your family and children?
Yeah.
It's very strange. But I'm saying, eat it up while you can, girlfriend, because you ain't going to find another man to do that for you.
So
Black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian, honey. I don't care what color you are. It's not going to happen, is it?
I don't think so.
Ain't no way.
I might find her a Hispanic man that'll do that. All right.
Yeah, and maybe an Hispanic man. He'll have a few jobs.
But what about the beginning of the foundation thing, right? So he says, as they walk in to find the guest list, she said, the last name's Rost because it's not Martin yet.
Like
so she just was doing too much this
every
entire
reference
episode.
that she was on screen was about marriage, about him.
I would marry her.
So he's probably going crazy.
Well, no, girl. So then at the
her.
end of the night, now she's tipsy.
Yeah.
She gets home. She has her drunk face on in bed.
She's like cascaded across the bed.
Let's really have a conversation. Like, how long do you think?
I wouldn't marry her. I'd break up with her, matter of fact. I would. If
She
I were
said,
him.
how long should we be engaged for? She wants him to tell her how long.
First of all, my personal opinion, I think that engagements should be short. I don't believe in long engagements. I've never been engaged, but engagements shouldn't be long.
Like how long is an engagement?
I mean, because we have to plan. I'd say about a year, depending on if you're going to go down to the Justice of the Peace or if you're going to go to the Cathedral on 5th Street. A year maximum.
Year and a half, I could see that.
Yeah.
Maximum.
Once you hit 2 years,
Because
it's like,
people
okay,
have
wow.
to
unless financial
budget.
situation.
Yeah, you have to it's like it's
but it depends on
expensive.
what you want to do.
And especially
Yeah.
if you just bought a ring, you have to recoup that
is true.
all that money in a year. Especially the ring I'm about to have.
2 years at the absolute. If it even goes on to 2 years and 1 month afterwards, then what?
That
what's
ain't
the
an
point?
engagement ring. That's a friendship ring.
There needs to be short
But at
engagements.
least she
I don't
knows
believe
he wants
we've been
to
engaged for the last 6 years, and there are people like that.
Yo, I feel you date as long as y'all need. Yeah. Date as long
Save
as
up
you need.
while we're dating.
Yeah.
Get that engagement ring, and then y'all hop on in it. So she's sitting there drunk, and she said, how long should we be engaged for? He said, jokingly, 4 or 5 years, and her drunk self was not having it. No, for real. I'm trying to ask you this. What's your opinion? Like, what is your opinion?
Oh, God.
Right.
And that's where he came out and said, if you don't stop forcing this, let it just naturally.
I would have broken up with her in the name of
It
all
takes
that.
away
Because what is he benefiting
being
from
a
this
man.
relationship?
She's
it seems
beautiful.
like she's the one
She's
benefited.
beautiful.
There's plenty of pretty girls out in the D.C. area. Plenty. It seems like she is benefiting everything, and he's getting nothing from it.
You met
but
this
an
year within
empty
a year
wallet.
and a half,
I think
paying
maybe
all your bills.
I think something's kind of weird about that we're gonna find out later on in the season. Something because it really
it's
doesn't
like a
make
Phaedra Parks
sense.
Apollo situation.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense why he isn't benefiting. He's annoyed by her half the time because every conversation that they have is about marriage. They don't just talk about normal stuff like how was your day, what did you do, blah blah blah. It's always about marriage. So what is he getting out of this?
Like, I wonder what
There's
their
no
actual
gain.
friendship is like, because to me it does come off like they look like the pretty Barbie and Ken.
Right. And relationships, you can't have a relationship without friendship first.
Right.
Boom.
Preach.
All right, let's talk about the relationship that I want and I love, Robin and Juan. I think that they're adorable together.
Are you a nutcase?
Why?
There ain't no way, baby.
Okay, the situation's fucked up, but these two love each other. He fucked up, and I think she's.
He messed up, lost.
Don't touch me.
She got half the money. He got the other half. He spent all his, and he wanted to come back home when he didn't get any more contracts. That's how the story goes. He had nowhere to stay. He has no money.
I know so many men like that.
And they're sleeping in the same bed, divorced. That is not nothing to
obscene.
Admire. There's
No. He's not
but
saying that he admires it. He says that he thought that they were cute. I like Robin, and based on the little 5-second. The fight, because like I said, I didn't see this episode, but on the series premiere, based on a little 5-second interaction with them, they still seem like they have like a playfulness between them two.
Well, they're like dating each other.
Yeah, they kiss each other goodbye when they leave and stuff like that.
And you know what? I do understand
they want normalcy
why,
for the kids, though, right?
And I do understand why she is taking this approach. His back history with his family, both of his parents died of AIDS, and they were on drugs. 16. Yeah, they were really young.
Wow.
They were like,
and her parents took him in. So
so this is like a Nick Gordon, Bobby Christina type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, ma'am.
Yeah, what they were dating, like they weren't brother and sister.
Well, and I don't think they were doing drugs or anything. Like they weren't bad influences.
No, but I said Whoopi. No. Sorry, my mind.
Whitney took him.
I just finished watching The View. Whitney took Nick Gordon in.
Yeah, and so it's very similar to that. And we see Robin kind of going through this in her head of like, should I? Because Juan's going to be moving to Maryland, so it's kind of like, do I move to Maryland with the family with him, or is this the final goodbye? And
because they are divorced, I'm sure that's not easy though. Because a lot of times when you get comfortable with people. Like, there are people who don't get divorced because they don't want to leave that comfort zone, who are in miserable marriages.
But see, to me, that's more like, what's her name from Basketball Wives?
L.A. or Miami?
L.A. Oh, my God. Malaysia's friend.
Brandy.
Mm-hmm. How with her husband. So, like... With her, I feel like she's a comfortability factor. But with Robin and Juan, I think that there's actually a love there. And Robin's pissed off with him, and that's why there's a divorce or anything.
Unlike Katie, there is a friendship there. They're actually really friends. So it kind of feels like you're losing a friend. But sometimes it's just good to let that friend go and be friends. You guys don't have to stay in the same bed and act like a marriage. Because at the end of the day, you're only faking in front of the kids. And he wants to be a part of his kid's life. He really enjoys that. So if he really does genuinely feel that way, he's not going to give up on you.
Right.
You should just stick through it and be friends and let him move away and get a job and pay you some money that he owes.
And it was like watching the wedding clips and like him crying and like
it was cute.
It was cute, and that wedding looked poppin' as hell. Robin reminiscing about the wedding, talking about 26 is too young to marry.
It is too young. I'm 27 and. Like, even though I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years, I still feel like, man, like, am I really, really ready at 27 years old to get married? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a big commitment.
Mm-hmm. Well, she only got that dress 40% off what she originally paid.
Oh, she turned it in a consignment store.
Oh, she did.
And she got it 50 or 40% off. So, and she paid like $6,000 for it. So. But she says they're going through a bad time right now because they like had a whole big financial crisis.
I can believe it.
She needs the money.
And to Patrick, I was talking about Brandy Maxwell because on Basketball Wives LA, Brandy's kind of going through the same situation where she doesn't want to be with her man, her baby father, but she kind of does. And I personally think with her situation, it's more of comfortability.
So is that like the new thing now? Because, I mean, not to jump to our next show, but you guys can catch us at 7 o'clock for... what show is it? Yeah, Roja.
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Sheree and Bob.
Oh, just tune in at 7 p.m.
Yes, we'll get it. So, I mean, people are reaching all the way back, honey.
Reaching.
Grab my hand.
Shit.
No thanks. This is 2016.
Big Papa was gonna come out.
I'm like that. I'm like that.
Are you?
No, not the reach back. I'm saying I'm like that as far like agreeing with you. Like when I'm done, I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah. There's never like
that means there's
part
better.
Two of
I mean, what?
You fucked up in the first one.
I've never met a man who I wanted to give a part two to.
No.
Ever. But then again, I've never been in love either. So maybe that goes hand in hand.
Shar.
I've never been in love.
No, but you know what? I've always thought I was loved.
I've liked you a lot.
I've loved people. I've learned that I love people, but I've never been in love, and that's a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I love my dog. I'm not in love with my dog, but I love my dog. I love people that I've been with, and that's why I took care of
the
them.
man.
Yeah.
But I've never been in love.
Or a woman. Don't get messy in those comments. But I have never been in love ever. I'm fine with it though. These checks don't bounce. So
Okay.
Well,
Unlike Bob and
neither do Karen's titties, but that's not another situation. So Karen, etiquette number 17.
So she's literally numbering these now.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't hold grudges. No, bitch. Here's what Karen did.
Yeah.
Karen didn't want Gizelle to be the one who said, I'm going to create the apology party. I'm going to be the queen of apologies, and everyone will come and apologize, to me.
Her self-proclaimed self.
So she decides to reach out to Gizelle because, it was heavy on her heart that morning. Mm-hmm. She says that she should have, to Gizelle, I think where you went wrong was you should have had one-on-ones, which I totally agree with Karen.
Yeah.
I felt like definitely should have had
Gizelle should have had one-on-ones to make amends.
instead of the
I agree.
double dosage.
Yeah.
Karen
Because it was
says,
2 different situations.
yeah.
Right.
And obviously they're going to team up because they both
Are mad.
have something against you.
Yeah.
Karen says, I'm sorry if my gift hurt you. I apologize. Karen says, Gizelle says, well, you apologized and I forgive you.
Right.
And I'm just like, but you didn't come back with an apology. Like, I'm sorry you took, my apology the wrong way. Or, I don't know. It's just like...
Awkward.
Ashley was the MVP of this episode for me at the end of it.
I really like Ashley.
I kind of did too.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to watch it because I still don't see it for her.
It was this episode.
You'll like her.
Just seeing, remember how last week where I said the children were telling Gizelle how proper etiquette? It was like watching that. Ashley's not even from there.
And she's actually
in
really mature. Even though she is young and she has that tiny voice and she likes to have a good time, it doesn't take away from that she speaks well and she is a mature girl when it comes down to it. But when you get out, like me, when I get out, I'm about to have me a good time. But I am a grandma, and I do most of the time I do stay at home and cook.
When Pink has a good time, y'all, she have.
If you have me out, I'm about to have a good old time.
But Gizelle won't call Charisse. She said, I've reached out to her. If she wants an apology, she can come to me. Karen, we saw Karen with Raven, her 17-year-old daughter, who's dating Henry. It's prom, and that's where we get another interracial comment about how it's normal. And Raven, beautiful little girl, she came down in that dress. And Pink, you noticed something?
Because I love clothes. I was examining her dress, and she had on pants underneath her dress. So I don't know if it was a chastity belt or... that it was
looked
just
like black leggings, like the same black leggings
but they look loose
I'm wearing.
though,
like pants
on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No, yours are leggings.
So maybe it was
like boy slacks.
Maybe it was just a contrived scene.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe her mom was really like,
they redid
she ain't going to prom with nothing under there.
Right.
She could take that as soon as she get in the car.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
But then you have to take your shoes off. Then you got to take the pants off.
I mean, girl, you trying to get it.
I'm 18.
If you want it.
If you want it.
Let's do it.
All right. Karen and Charisse. They bury the hatchet with Gizelle. Why am I saying that? Charisse says, Karen and Charisse meet up. They talk about how Karen buried the hatchet. Charisse says that she's beyond this. I just accept Gizelle as she is. Mm-hmm. Ashley then invites Karen to a whiskey tasting as they're doing the whole bathing suit thing. And Karen says it's all about respect to get into this circle. And because you come off good to me, you're already good, girl. Like, Karen's the head.
I don't know how Karen decided she's the HBIC. Like, no one ever references her that way either. So when she keeps saying that,
her initial introduction,
elderly.
They have.
Yeah, but as the elderly, but not as the one that's calling all the shots or the one that
Gizelle kind of did.
Yeah, pay respect to your OGs.
Gizelle kind of did when she said the comment about how big of a diva Karen is. There's Diana Ross and then there's Karen, and to me that's kind of saying that okay, like we know it for what it is when it comes to Karen Huger. Even the way she people let her talk to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They challenge her, but they don't challenge her that much from what I've seen.
a telling situation from that was Katie saying that she basically likes Charisse and Karen because they got money and she needs that for her foundation.
Right.
Like, you got to keep friends with certain types of people out here because, you know, they got the big purses.
I will give it to Katie, though. She does look great for a woman that has 3 kids.
That's true.
Her body looked great.
But that was so funny that they really just used these 2 young girls to just come and be models for your 17-year-old's daughter. I can't. Gizelle and her daughters were outfit hunting. That was a cute little clip. Then we get to the whiskey tasting. So
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know where this whiskey tasting was held, but it was apparently off of
The beaten path of what they're used to. Yeah.
Karen
in
was
a basement.
First one there.
Yes.
Although it looked like it might have smelled a little.
She said she was dressed to the nines. Not to me. I like the whole ambiance. To me, if you're having whiskey, you're not. Yeah, it's themed. You're not gonna sit in a wine cellar
like
drinking whiskey.
Like a saloon with like barrels.
Yeah,
and
it looked cool to me.
So it had rustic decor. Karen was a little taken back. And then they start to take shots of whiskey. And Gizelle fucking was whipping those shots back.
Yes, she was.
Ashley did a little toast. I know, I just want to do a toast to everyone. You guys are all so beautiful, and I know I'm younger, but I'm just so thankful that you guys could come here.
Right.
And they all were like,
This bitch.
Gizelle talks about Charisse in front of her, basically, where she was like, Karen, I really want to...
Right.
So pretend you're Charisse.
Okay.
Karen, I just want to say it was awesome meeting with you the other day, coming for that apology. I'm glad we were able to get things under the, dust things under the rug. I would love to do that with Charisse. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to meet with Charisse. And Karen was like, Charisse is
super passive aggressive. I live for it, though. That's what the Housewives is about.
Of course. It was very appropriate.
This was definitely brought you to what the Housewives is supposed to be. And they actually spoke on it. They said, aren't we supposed to, if we don't like each other, talk about it, bring it up amongst each other, and then dust it off?
Yep.
And it didn't take until Ashley brought up the thought comment to Gizelle.
Yes.
And almost kind of demanded, like, look, girl, I'm not out here fucking people. I was having a good time. I understand that may not have been what you deem as proper.
Right.
But we can look under the table, over the table, and see a whole bunch of things that ain't proper here. But I just felt like it was really rude. Gizelle apologized. And Ashley was like, well, see, and that's all I needed. Like, it just came off rude and disrespectful, and we're grown women. That. When Charisse heard Ashley, even Charisse in her one-on-one, I was really taken aback by that. Charisse said, you know what?
Yeah.
The fact that Ashley was the one to be more, she's younger than us and was more grown, and then Charisse got up.
Then Gizelle and I.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's big for you to say that you because at the end of the day, it's very petty and it's apples and oranges that you guys are arguing over. It's not real stuff. No one called you out of your name. No one said anything bad about your kid. Well, Karen tried to push the button about the kids. But
Pimping.
Yeah, but which is inappropriate. But other than that, like, get over it.
Yeah, and so then Charisse gave Gizelle a hug, and that was a good moment for everybody. Let's head into predictions. Ashley annoys me a little. Don't hump me, bitch. David. Some grim, I think Ashley and Gizelle could become dream team. Ooh, that would be interesting, Caitlin. All right, next week, Gizelle is back with her baby daddy, and she's making sure everyone knows she don't want to be with him.
Right.
She done moved on. But what I'm here for is Ashley and Katie talking and gossiping about Robin saying she only got $25 in her bank account, and then Robin versus Ashley next week.
Yeah. So she was talking about Robin?
I think so.
But Robin has a job. So Robin and Ashley are the 2 only people on the show that have jobs, real jobs.
Which is funny because they actually are the only 2 that come off.
Ashley don't want to play with Rob. Robin seemed like
Robin looks like she will cut you.
I said this the first episode when it was just me and you here.
Yeah.
Robin reminds me of someone who's very, very, kind of quiet, reserved in behavior, but it's something behind that. Like, I wouldn't want to see Robin mad.
No.
You know, she probably put that ex-husband through. She probably.
I don't want to see her mad.
Tore things down,
and
burned
neither
houses
do you,
down.
Ashley.
No, baby, you ain't ready.
But Ashley looked like she might have a little Gone Girl in her.
Yeah.
A little Gone Girl, like a little bit of like Robin would drag her.
Yeah.
But let Ashley get like a full 48 hours, and Robin's body will not be found. Like Ashley
she's
gives
very
me a little,
like she's smart, so she's probably really calculated. Yeah.
$25 in her account. I'm hoping it's about Robin, even though I don't want to wish that on her.
How did she know that? She must have called Wells Fargo.
Gone Girl.
Called her personal teller.
I mean, I am excited to see two women kind of amp it up a little bit on the show and get a little more.
We need some more drama.
Feistiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that episode of Real Housewives last night
was everything.
But that's fine. We getting out of here. We have to rewatch the episode so we can come back at 7 to talk about it. Make sure you guys hit us up everywhere at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You guys can keep in contact with me everywhere at DJ Jesse J.
You guys can always find me on Instagram at Pink English, as well as on Twitter, English Speaks.
And I'm everywhere at Shar Says So.
Boom. Till next week. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.